Most abandoned railways die quietly, but on certain storm-filled nights, one forgotten line begins to breathe again. Witnesses describe a black steam train emerging from fog where no train should exist. Daniel Carter thought he was seeing lightning play tricks on his eyes. Then the train stopped directly beside him without making a sound. Its doors opened by themselves as if the storm had delivered a passenger. Inside stood a conductor too tall, too pale, and far too calm. He offered Daniel a ticket with no destination printed on it. Every instinct told him to run. Instead, he reached for the ticket. The moment he stepped aboard, the storm felt impossibly far away, and the door sealed shut behind him. The carriage smelled of wet coal, old wood, and something much older. Passengers sat motionless, dressed in fashions from different decades. One elderly woman slowly turned her head toward him. Above the seats, family photographs began losing faces one by one. Daniel snapped a photograph. For a single flash, every passenger stared directly at him, then vanished. Outside the window, the storm was gone. In its place stretched a black void filled with drifting stars. And somehow the conductor was suddenly standing behind him. Inside the conductor's watch swirled an impossible galaxy of railway lines. Daniel's ticket began to glow with a new destination, final station. The train accelerated with impossible speed. Lanterns swung wildly as the carriage shook around him. Then the train burst into a ruined city floating beneath a blood-red sky. Ghost trains crossed the heavens like glowing veins in a dead universe. Daniel's camera captured figures that were not there a moment before. The conductor silently motioned for him to follow. Carriage after carriage revealed different eras stitched together like memories. One carriage contained thousands of clocks frozen at exactly 3:13. Then a single clock began ticking. Beyond the next door waited an endless gallery of missing person photographs. Among them, Daniel found his own face. When he tore the photo down, dozens more grew back in its place. Ahead, iron gates emerged from the fog. Final station. The train rolled into a station that looked abandoned centuries ago. Every passenger rose at the same time. They walked into the fog and faded away like smoke. Only a little girl in a yellow raincoat remained. She held out a newspaper reporting Daniel Carter missing. Behind him, the train began dissolving into black mist. Inside the conductor's watch, Daniel saw himself already trapped on the platform. He ran through endless fog, chasing any sign of escape. Suddenly, he stumbled onto the same abandoned railway where it had begun. His phone revealed a horrifying truth. 10 years had passed. In the nearby town, strangers recognized him only from old missing person posters. And during the next storm, the ghost train returned. Daniel became obsessed with proving what he had seen. His apartment filled with maps, sketches, and reports of disappearances. He barely slept, clutching the ticket that should not exist. Then another person vanished during a thunderstorm. The disappearances formed a pattern across forgotten rail lines. When Daniel developed his photograph from the train, new figures appeared. One of those figures was Daniel himself. That night, he heard a train whistle outside his apartment. Ghostly tracks materialized across the flooded street below. the conductor opened the door and offered the same yellow ticket. And as the train disappeared into the storm once more, one question remained. Was Daniel a survivor or simply a passenger who had not yet reached his final stop?